Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle. Sprite Castle.
Mr. Rob O'Hara.
Sprite Castle.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Sprite Castle. On today's show, I'm going to be playing the classic game Sammy Lightfoot. On the first episode, I didn't have a good name for what this type of show is. I joked around. I call it a video cast, a vlogcast, a video podcast. I had someone mention maybe I should call it a screencast. The best solution, or the best suggestion I heard, was a tube cast, like as in YouTube. So this is a tube cast. Sprite Castle is now a tube cast. I like that. So on the second tube cast of Sprite Castle, I'm going to be playing Sammy Lightfoot. And so let's go ahead and get Sammy started here. Sammy Lightfoot, as you can see, was a 1983 game from Sierra Online. Sierra Online would later become probably more well known for their King's Quest and their quest type games. Like most games here, you can see I have some different settings. I can set which level I start at. I can turn the music on or off, but Sammy Lightfoot was, I always kind of liked this little music. In the manual, it is explained that Sammy Lightfoot is a circus performer. He's a trapeze artist, and you can see Sammy over here bouncing on the trampoline. Don't want to touch that ball, that'll kill us. As I hold the button down, you can see I jump a little bit higher each time on the trampoline, and that's going to be a key into getting Sammy into some different places we need him to get. The ball has 2 different paths it can travel there. Also, if you hold down the button, you will hang on to a swinging rope there, as any good trapeze artist should be able to do, I suppose. Not unlike Pitfall there. Going to jump over this. That thing that's up there in the upper... Oh, now we're going to see Sammy's pompadour spin around there as Sammy dies. In the 8-bit game days, due to the inability to display really detailed graphics, most developers, if they wanted to develop a character, would give their character a easy to discern trademark, I guess maybe you would say, some sort of look. Mario had his little mustache and his overalls, his little hat. So Sammy Lightfoot has his little pompadour hairdo here. He also seems to have a bit of a weight problem for a circus performer, you would think. That up there is a man-eating pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern. You will notice that I can hang on to this little, what looks like a pole here, but it doesn't move. I need to go over and touch this little pad to get this to start swinging. And when it's done, oh, don't want to touch the man-eating. Why there's a man-eating pumpkin in a circus is probably a good question. We'll let Sammy go up here. Sammy will do his little victory dance, as any good trapeze artist has a few good victory dances in their back pocket ready to go. And we will go to scene 2. Each level consists of 3 different scenes, and although I've wasted a couple of Sammy's lives here, I should be able to go through this level. It's actually really easy once you know the pattern. You just start and run straight across. You can see that Sammy Lightfoot makes good use of the Commodore sprites. You have these little smooth scrolling platforms rolling around. Sammy Lightfoot was not a Commodore exclusive. It was also released for the Apple II, which is where I first played Sammy Lightfoot. It also appeared on the Atari 400 and 800 computers, and I believe on the ColecoVision. I'm not sure if there's any other console ports of Sammy Lightfoot. But based on the date, 1983, Sammy Lightfoot was one of many platform-type games that tried to capitalize on the newly created genre from games like Donkey Kong. This is actually the only difficult part of this level, and it's not hard once you know what the trick is, but when this carpet moves, you'll see that Sammy does not move with it, so you have to run to stay on this little magic carpet. Again, what a circus this must be, with magic carpets, death-defying feats being performed by an overweight acrobat with a giant red pompadour hairdo. The instruction manual to this game, I believe, is about 2 pages long, and it says the joystick moves Sammy around. Good luck. It does not tell you what you're about to encounter. I used to call these the equalizers of death. I don't know what they're actually supposed to be or why on earth this would be in a circus. Just these things that would, I mean, it looks like their only goal in life here is to impale a circus performer, which would be, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't go watch that, but, I mean, it's bad for the circus. You would think that, I don't know, is there a circus performers union or something? I don't know how that works. Once you time this, this is pretty easy to get through. The hardest part of this level up here is connecting where these two vines. If you're used to playing, I'm used to playing Jungle Hunt, in which these vines, I mean, you can almost let go at almost any time and connect on the two. That is not the case with these two vines. It's actually, like I said, this is the trickiest part of this level, is getting this time just right and before the fire gets you. You also don't want to jump right into that man-eating pumpkin or get your Sammy's booty burnt. Oh, Sammy, I let go too late. Sammy. Ah, it's terrible. It looks like I have a few Sammys left back there. This is an odd circus indeed, where there is a never-ending, well, not never-ending, but at least some sort of supply of circus performers that are all overweight with this giant crazy hairdo. Maybe they make all their circus performers wear these little wigs, these giant pompadour wigs. I'm telling you right now, I would go to this circus in a heartbeat. This looks like a fun place to go. I don't know that I would take my kids. I mean, it kind of looks like a thing where, you know, your children, there's a pretty good chance of like that. Hey, kids, come watch the fat guy with the funny hairdo get stuck through the head, impaled. With the children, you might opt for a petting zoo instead of taking them to whatever circus this is. But this is essentially Sammy Lightfoot. I'm going to give this one more go here to try to beat this level. You can start on harder levels. On the different levels, you will see things moving a little bit faster. You will see a little bit more, not randomness. On the first level that we saw with the bouncing ball that moved around, on the next level up, there are two balls that move around. This game is very pattern-based, so once you have learned the patterns and the timing, you can do the same thing. You'll notice that I'm doing the exact same thing I did last time. This first jump, if you run through the first level like I did, then that makes you think that you can make this jump right here, but you can't. You will miss that one every time, so you have to. And by the way, I'm holding down the button at this point to keep Sammy on the vine. Unlike Pitfall, where you would pull down to release from the vine, on this game you have to hold the button to stay on. Let's get Sammy there, and let's just jump right on the edge there. And Sammy will do his little victory strut there with the Sammy Lightfoot music. And now what you'll see is the game advanced to level 1, and we're back to scene 1 again. Again, you'll notice on this level things are now a little bit harder. You have the ball coming from the opposite direction, and I believe you'll see 2 at a time. Yeah, there we go. Boing! Some games you had to do your own sound effects. At least I did. Anyway, early game from Sierra Online. This is Sammy Lightfoot. This is, like I said, available for lots of... Oh, Sammy! Lots of 8-bit games, or 8-bit systems, especially computer systems, and the ColecoVision. And I don't think that any version is particularly better than any other version. Oh, what a sad circus. You lose. And that is the end of Sammy Lightfoot. Type your initials, please. Well, there you go. Thank you for watching episode number 2 of Sprite Castle. We will have more Commodore games coming your way in the very near future, so stay tuned. Also, if you want to follow... I'm trying to think of all my plugs here real quick off the top of my head. We've got Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/Sprite Castle, you can find us there. Links to that and other things are available at spritecastle.com. You can email me at spritecastle@gmail.com. If you want to leave a voicemail with any suggestions for future games to play, you could do that at 405-486-YDKF. That is the You Don't Know Flack voicemail line for my other podcast, but you can leave messages here as well. If you like this podcast, Tubecast, and other retro-themed shows. Check out throwbacknetwork.net, and you will see lots of other retro-themed shows. You can find the Throwback Reviews podcast there. You can find Doug McCoy's collection of retro podcasts. You can find Ferg's 2600 game-by-game podcast, the Intellivision podcast, which has just come out, and several other retro shows are being added. So be sure to check out throwbacknetwork.net.